Okay, guys, but like, what if? Welcome to a podcast. Hello, hi. You cannot see my room, but it is in fact completely different, which means that now if I get distracted, it's either one window or the cats out the door. I don't have two windows plus cats. So we're making some progress here on getting stuff done. I guess. I don't know. That also means that I'm going to be just a little bit more scatterbrained than usual because I'm a little tired. But, like, this is episode 19. You know what you signed up for, right? Gosh, I hope so. Okay, so let's just, like, dive back in. Um, I had I had a plan. I did. I had a plan. I was going to talk about the sheer amount of training and paperwork that has come along with now being a TA. Like, I'm an official employee. Like, I'm a contracted employee. I have not ever been a contracted employee. Um, and I am almost 40. Never. Just straight up hourly. And tomorrow you're fired was just a thing that I had accepted about life. It could just happen. Especially because I've always lived in at-will states. I don't know, maybe Washington wasn't, but also I was mostly a caregiver in Washington. Not on purpose. Actually, what happened was I had a contract and I had a start date for a job, and then the business went under about a week before my start date. Yeah, so that was fun. That was great. Um, yeah, so since then, I've not been a contracted employee. Um, so this is there's just a lot that I wasn't ready for. I guess I was under contract with the army, but like that doesn't count because when you're under contract with the military in the United States, they own you. Okay, they own you. If you break down what someone in the military makes, because you can, in fact, you're on call like all the time. Okay, like they can literally call you on to duty at any time that they feel like it. They can just have a formation because somebody was being a jerk. Somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Your CO was like, you know what? I can't sleep. Nobody else gets to sleep either. Come on, we're gonna have a formation. I'm aware it's 2 a.m. Let's go. Why does your uniform look like that? Because it's 2 a.m.? That's not an excuse. Welcome to the military. Okay? Like, that's not just in basic training. It doesn't happen as often in most MOSs, as in, like, most of the careers in the military. You're not going to have that most of the time. I know MPs still deal with it, infantry still deals with it. But overall, it doesn't really happen that much, but it can. And it does happen occasionally. Um, Or maybe you have a CO like I did at one point who decided that he was going to make our morning formation extra long because he just had to tell us. He had to tell us about the woman he met on the bus and decided to marry. And I wish I was joking. I wish that this was not one of the memories that I was able to maintain. And it's one time my CO got up and told us about meeting this woman on the bus and that he was getting married. I don't remember the rest of the details, but this is also the same CO who, while I was actively trying not to die from what turned out to be a kidney infection but had been suspected meningitis, right, asked if I would try to get some numbers from the nurses. Yeah, he wasn't super great. But whatever. Anyway, the Army doesn't count when it comes to contracted positions, okay? Because in the real world, where we are now, a contract does not mean that they own you. Like, I can do this. Whereas if I was doing this while still in service, there would be conversations that would end not great for me. So yeah, there's that. So there's just a lot, and I was gonna talk about that, especially because I was doing some extra training because it's who I am as a person. Ezra, you're overwhelming yourself. I know. But I was doing extra training, and we have a new training on AI, and of course there's like an entire thing about how great AI can be for teachers, and it involves such suggestions as creating like an AI script that can answer questions about the syllabus that students generally have. And I was like, well, that's why they have FAQs. Like, we don't need AI to do everything. We don't. I thought we all hated Clippy. First of all, we all hated that little MFer. We hated Clippy. Every single millennial that I know has some sort of horror story about Clippy deciding that when you said no, you really meant yes, and then you turned in a paper that had something you didn't want in it. Where did that go? Where did that annoyance go? Because that was AI. Yeah, autocorrect is AI. Just so we're very clear, it is not generative AI, but it is AI. And you know how it works? On a large language model. Like, we were already doing it, and we could have just left it right there with the stuff that's actually helpful but still has us doing the work. Do you know what else? Do you know what else is like technically AI? When you use Photoshop, Canva, whatever it is, to erase a background, that's artificial intelligence. It is not generative. It is simply using what it knows about how scenery or humans or objects or whatever, like whatever you're wanting to keep and or erase, like it's using that to do a function, but it's not creating something whole cloth. Do you see how we can have a line and still have AI in helpful and useful ways? Anyway, so I got really heated about that. And I don't want to be heated. I don't. And then one of my friends decided that this morning was a great a great time to get me just a little over the edge about linguistic drift. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard to get me going on linguistic drift, which is not what we're doing this afternoon. It's almost 4 p.m. this morning. Anyway, that's not what we're doing. But all of this is to say that I had a plan, and I don't have that same plan now. I actually wanted to. We're gonna talk about some Ezra lore that is. Okay, I am standing next to the fence about whether or not there's a deity. Point blank. Okay. Let alone one that's like in control of anything. And I look at most most conspiracy theories I am not just skeptical of, right? I'm just like, but how did you even get from point A to point B, let alone point Z? But I have two conspiracy theories that just keep coming back into my brain. And the problem with conspiracy theories is that they often start with like a little tiny nuggets of logic. And I am self-aware enough to understand that these are conspiracy theories. I don't actually believe them. I just am able to follow the rabbit hole further than with like anything else. Okay, so number one, we live in a simulation. And when I say we live in a simulation, what I mean is if there's some being out there, it's like a more advanced version of us, the same way that we created The Sims. Like, I can kind of get how Mormons think they'll be their own deity. Like, I get it. I don't agree. I think that that's just... Joseph Smith wanted to feel special and wanted other people to buy into his nonsense. That was just repackaged Masonry plus Christianity plus American exceptionalism. And to any Mormons out there, I'm sorry, but I don't even believe in my own God, so why would I believe in yours? Like, I am an equal opportunity offender when it comes to religion and faith, especially if your faith makes you do things like be super bigoted. But like I can understand that if you like, especially now, I don't know where Joseph Smith got his from, but like now that we do have The Sims and we've got AI coming out and making all of this stuff, and seeing things online is actually harder and harder to determine what is and isn't AI, even for people who are always on the lookout for it, like yours truly. It does get harder and harder. And I think that line blurring just makes it a little bit easier to be like, yeah, life's a simulation. And also, like, I apologize in advance to any Gregs out there, but like sometimes when I'm really, really angry, I allow myself to believe that there's some sadistic jerk face running my life. And I'm just like, come on, Greg. Why, Greg? I don't know. It was like a single syllable. It flows. I don't know. But also, if you, like me, are that kind of millennial and you read Animorphs, then you probably read The Elemist, which, in fact, is about a deity-like entity who is in a constant battle with another deity like entity controlling worlds and persons on those worlds, and like having them the same way that like playing with them the same way we play with the Sims for shits and gigs. So like we've always had these ideas that like maybe there is something out there that's more powerful than us. That doesn't mean that it is omnipotent, but would be relatively omnipotent, if that makes sense. So that's a conspiracy theory that like sometimes I'm just like, sure, why not? It's all a simulation. And then my second one, which is actually a little more, I'm a little more concerned to say this one because so you remember when everybody was nervous about, okay, not everybody, like you remember when one of the things about people not taking vaccination steps was because they didn't want to be tracked, and now everybody is on Ozempic. Like everybody, like when I say everybody, I mean I got an email recently, I don't remember when, please do not ask me to understand time right now, especially for an email that I rarely check, but I did get an email from the VA benefits or whatever, I don't know, it's the newsletter I get sometimes, and apparently they are trying GLP-1s on veterans for alcoholism. Like that's the new thing that they want to try. And I don't know if you know this, but the rate of alcoholics and other substance use disordered folks in the military slash recently or not so recently separated from the military is a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, I don't like when I saw that, that's when I was like, okay, now it is too much. Like I know there's people that are on it just for weight control. And I am all for people finding the medication that helps them in all kinds of ways. And also, I cannot dismiss the feeling that I have that everybody and their mama's on a GLP-1 now. Hers and Hims, which love to both give me ads. I have in fact gotten a Hers ad for BC and a Hims ad for a different thing you do. Like both things were about getting frisky. Okay, let's put it that way. But yeah. And so both of them, I've had GLP-1 ads like on streaming platforms like YouTube and stuff. Uh, I know people that are on it now for diabetes control, and now seeing this about GLP-1s for alcohol use disorder is if our government wanted to get people to inject something, they would not do it with a health scare, right? everybody's already freaked out. Oh, no, no, no. Instead, they take conventional Western beauty standards, crank them up to 1,000, make that the news cycle, and then say, oh yeah, GLP-1s are now mass marketed. I'm just saying it's real easy to believe. Lucky for me, I guess, I will never be able to take a GLP-1. I wouldn't want to, but I will never be able to take a GLP-1. Why? Because the way that they work is by diminishing hunger cues and slowing down your digestive system. Guess what? I have gastroparesis to do that. Thank you. I get a full stomach from a full glass of water some days. So I like, but just something I noticed. Just something I noticed. So now you know that I most conspiracy theories, I'm gonna laugh at you and poke holes in it. But those two I can see. And the only thing that really stops me about like wholeheartedly believing that the GLP-1s are gonna be the thing, our current administration is full of idiots, scientifically speaking. Yeah. I'm not worried about RFK Jr. Slipping something into a GLP-1 when he doesn't believe in any medications whatsoever. But if they were going to do it, the setup is here. So there's that. I'm going to look at my notes because I forgot what else I was. Oh, okay. Okay. So, anyway, conspiracy part over. Let's talk about CSI. Why? Because I just finished CSI New York this morning. And I got thoughts. I have so many thoughts. Okay. Unspoken is the first half of Unspoken is in fact the best 20-ish minutes of television that I have ever seen. And I can't imagine Unspoken happening in Miami for CSI Miami. It wouldn't. And I cannot see it happening in later seasons of the original CSI. I could see Unspoken being a concept used when Gil is still the head, especially when they are, I guess, major spoilers. Whatever, the series has been over. There's been a reboot that's now been over. Like, anyway, when Gil is like dealing with his hearing loss and like exploring all of that and focusing on his signing and all that, like I could see Unspoken being something that worked really well in that era. But otherwise, like, it was amazing. And then like the second half was also amazing, but like that first bit is literally the best bit of television I think I've ever seen. So there's that. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to know anything about the characters. You could just go watch it. It's season 9. I don't remember what episode it is, but it's called Unspoken. I just finished watching the CSI New York on Hulu. There you go. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think that this final season is the best of all 3 series. I think part of that is it didn't feel like it was ending. CSI Miami's final season felt like endings, just like the whole way through, kind of. But season 9 of CSI New York doesn't feel like an ending until almost the end of the series, and even then, it feels more like we were invited into the world and now we're leaving the world for a while. Like, it did the best at both entering and leaving in media res. Like, we came in the middle of the story, all of these people are already established. We leave in the middle of the story where all of these people are continuing on. We're not getting goodbyes. So, I I liked that. Um, what else? I'm telling you, notes, guys, notes. Um, oh, I I almost started, like, I watched like the first little bit of CSI Vegas, and I'm gonna have spoilers for that too a little bit here, because I was fully prepared for Brass to die in the opening scene. I was like, that would track. I was like, Bruckheimer coming in hot. And if you have seen the first episode of CSI from 1997, then you understand. You understand, because no one is safe in CSI. Off the top of my head, six main characters die. And at least three of them, it is sudden and shocking. It's just whoosh, they're out. There's not build up to it or whatever, because that's what happens when you're a cop. And most of them are cops. Most of the CSIs that die are cops, because it's in Miami and New York. Um, Special mention, though, goes to Warwick Brown. Man got done dirty. Yeah. But again, it was not shocking, yes, surprising, no. Because CSI begins with the death of a brand new CSI. A brand new criminalist dies. And then, like, while investigating a scene. And so then the killer is brought to justice from combining the two deaths, like the one that she is investigating and then her own death as well. And Warwick is basically directly responsible for it. And the reasoning for him being directly responsible for it follows him for the rest of his time in the show until he dies. So, yeah. But, like, CSI has never been shy about main characters dying. So that's fun. um, but I started to watch it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just like give my thoughts on CSI New York, and then I'll actually start CSI Vegas. And then what happened is I rearranged my entire room. Um, and now I'm recording this, and it's probably gonna be I don't like 5 or so before I start dinner and do all that. It's just there's a lot, so I might not even get to watch any of it tonight. That's okay. It'll still be there tomorrow. Anyway, so there's that, and then be so for real. I don't. I don't know. I gotta fix my settings, guys. I'm sorry for any weirdness that you experience. My computer settings need some help. Anyway, next up. Um. Oh, okay. So now we're at the elevate portion, which is where I am going to be spending a lot of time, actually. Today, my not sponsored part of the video is about Dubby. What is Dubby? Well, I will show you. This is Dubby. That's Dubby. You can probably read that my name says Ezra, blah, 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 blah. But Dubby is a body doubling app. It was created by the amazing couple behind ADHD Love, right in here somewhere, on YouTube. I have had the app, I don't know, for a long time. Okay. And it started as just videos of them doing executive functioning type tasks, like step by step, that you could do along with them. So like nighttime routine, you like there's a video of them like brushing teeth and getting into pajamas and like setting alarms and like just all the little things that go into going to bed, because a neurotypical brain, go to bed is one task. For a neurodivergent brain, it's about 73, depending on who you are. And then it grew. And now they have live body doubling sessions multiple times a day, hosted by people all over the world. Australia, the UK, the US. I'm sure that they will have more people eventually from other areas, but like, again, they literally just raised their prices. And anybody who got in before that, hello, like legacy pricing is a thing. Okay, like this is very grassroots. This is very intentional, slow, trying to scale without losing the sense of community that comes with it. But I get more done in 1 hour on Dubby than I can get done by myself a lot of the time. Earlier this week, I did 4-hour-long sessions, and I Yeah, I did. I did like stuff that I do anyway, but I did a little bit faster. But also, I did something that I had been putting off for ages. They there's no like real accountability. I think I should mention that. Like you make a to-do list, you click it off, it goes into the to-do list, and like the host may or may not see it when they're reading them out. But nobody knows what's on your to-do list until it's done. You don't have to have the camera on ever. You don't have to participate in the chat. You don't have to do any of those things. It's not there's nobody checking up on you. It's just other people existing and working on stuff at the same time. And it works. And I don't know why it works. I don't understand. I need some kind of neuroscientist to explain to me how the app boosts my productivity so much. I've made phone calls because of this app. I'm terrified of phone calls. I hate them. But I've made phone calls. I've dealt with gross things in my house that I've been trying. You try to avoid them, but when you live by yourself, you got to deal with them eventually. I've I 2 days ago, was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. I did my entire morning routine that on average takes like 2 hours because I get up at 5 and when I work, I leave the house at 7. But I'm on summer break right now. I did it in 45 minutes because I got out of bed late. So, and by that I mean like I had fed the cats their first breakfast. Oh, P.S. If anybody knows how to like transition cats into free feeding, please tell me because I want to try that now because I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to make this old man that I have stop puking everywhere, and I love him so much. I call him an old man. He's 8 question mark ish. So like he is a senior cat. He's my old man. But he will not slow down. And so I'm hoping that maybe if I just switch back to free feeding, but I don't know how to make that happen because like I still want to give them wet food twice a day. So yeah, if you've got tips or tricks on that, let me know. Um, but I that was all I did. Like I got up and I gave them their canned food and I laid back down and I fell asleep because fun fact, I have a platelet count that is so low that when the test results came in, I got a phone call at 7:43 p.m. on a Friday evening from the on-call PA. So I'm exhausted all the time. Turns out there's a really good reason why. Um, but I went back to sleep. And also it's summertime, so I am letting myself sleep as much as I need to right now while I'm figuring everything out. But like yeah, that was last week. So I went back to sleep and then I woke up and it was 7:13 and the first thing I did was open Dubby and I was like 45 minutes to do my morning routine. Let's go. And then I did. So I washed their wet food dishes. I gave them their dry food. I did my fix your face, which is I brush my teeth, I shave, I wash my face. Um, I moisturize, not because I want to, but because if I wash my face and put just like this much lotion on, it it helps me not have as flaky issues from the lupus side effects. Um, I got my sunblock on. I got dressed. I There was something else I did. I don't know. I did all of it. It's 45 minutes. Yeah. Oh, I took my meds because I hadn't taken them before, you know. So yeah, W is amazing, and it's, gosh, I think it's what, like $5.99 or something, $6.99 a month, or you can get a yearly plan. Please do not ask me what that price is, because the old monthly plan was like $4.99, so I'm guessing it's $5.99 or $6.99 with the increase. Um, I recommend giving it a shot. I like, if body doubling is something that works for you, like if you're one of those people that every time somebody comes over you see everything suddenly, give it a shot. And then maybe your friends will stop thinking you're weird that you clean every time they come over. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Um so I think next week I will probably not be talking about trainings. I don't know. We're going to see what happens next week, I guess, before I figure out what I'm going to talk about. If there's a conspiracy theory that you think is like, there's too much logic in the first little bit that makes it real easy to fall down the rabbit hole, please let me know. Like, what is your pet conspiracy theory? What's the one that, like, you know that it doesn't really make sense, but what if? Give me that one. Um, Also, I'm going to watch CSI Vegas, so that's probably going to be the thing next week that I talk about. We'll see. It's only 3 seasons, so I might finish it this week. I literally put stuff on as background noise for that's this is why I get through stuff, because I'm not like watching most of the stuff. Not really watching. Um, I did I mention that I'm neurodivergent and attention is fleeting, and also I live alone, and so like sometimes having other people having conversations, like regular conversations. Schitt's Creek was actually really good for me. I watched that 2022, I think, 2021, 2022. I watched Schitt's Creek, and that, because it was so mundane, was actually really, really good for me getting stuff done, because it was just people having regular conversations. They were silly, yes, very silly. And ew, David, forever. Also, just fold it in. Just fold it in. Just fold it in. I can't teach you everything. Just fold it in. But like overall, yes, like very good for that. Um, I have a to be watched, to be read, to be listened to list that is approximately 600 miles long. But if you would like to add to it, feel free. Um, If there's any sort of productivity app that has worked for you and you are also neurodivergent, feel free to share it. I think that's it. I think we're done. I guess. I don't know. Probably gonna hit stop recording and then think of 14 other things I wanted to say, but guess what? That's what next week is for. So, please remember that you do not have to be nice, but you should always be kind, especially to yourself. Drink water, take ibuprofen, talk to your battle buddy, and stay in good trouble. Bye.